Hello everyone and welcome to my coursework 2 for game design and game analytics. So building off of coursework 1, I've added a couple of new elements to the game and taken some feedback and implemented an entire level, prototype level, which I will walk you through. So I'll just simulate the game now and show you what changes have been made. So a couple of things that have been preserved are the grapple hook points, which are these green spheres right here, the falling platforms, which now are a bit transparent, and the loot. So what's new in the game is this slow zone, which moves up and down. So as soon as the player enters it, the velocity is decreased and it'll either cause them to fall down, or if they're just about fast enough, scrape through and get to the platform ahead. I've also implemented a shield, so the shield prevents the player from dropping any loot they have collected if they collide with an obstacle or an enemy. So another new thing I have implemented is this spiky platform is the best way to call it, and whenever the player falls on this platform, the player will drop certain amount of loot, and currently I have programmed this platform to drop 8 points of loot. So whenever the player falls onto it, the player will lose 8 points off of their loot. And similar to the slow zones, they can move horizontally or vertically. Another thing that has been preserved from the previous game is the chasing enemy. So this enemy right here will chase the player around when the player is close enough. However, a certain bug is causing my AI to detect the player, but it never chases after the player. But in the default scene, the default level that comes with the first person starter pack, the AI works just fine. So I do not know how to fix this. And I've also implemented turrets. So these sentry guns, or turrets as you may call it, when the player gets close enough, they'll start shooting at the player, and whenever the bullet of the turrets hits the player will drop a certain amount of loot. So let's just move forward. Yep, here. So at the final point, the player has to decide whether they want to come to this platform right here and collect all the loot to increase their final score, or destroy the enemies that will be placed here to increase their final score. So before we had the rocket jump that the player could just spam and use, but the player had a limited amount of ammo. So I've changed that and tried to make the rocket gun a bit more valuable. So the player must collect rocket ammo along the way from each platform, so that when they reach the final platform right there, they can use the rocket jump to come here, or use the rockets to destroy the enemies. So it's basically up to the player what type of completionist they want to be, whether they want to collect all the loot or they want to destroy all the enemies in the environment, or do both if that is possible. So yeah, these are the changes. I'm going to pause the video right now, and when we come back we will jump into the gameplay. Welcome back. Now let's jump into the gameplay and see how certain features work. So as you can see, the game is a lot more fun now because it's just a grapple hook and we're trying to be as fast as possible. The platforms will still fall, so I need to be careful and I need to be fast enough. Oops, I fell off right there. But as you can see, the turrets are shooting at the player when they're close enough. Let's just take a closer look at that. So you can see they start shooting at the player, and the player also has to stay fast enough, so it creates emergent behavior almost, where the players trying to do multiple different things and avoid the platforms. So this is the choice I was talking about. Now the player can use the rocket jump to come here, collect all the loot. This platform will not fall, or the player can use the rockets to destroy the final enemies and get to the end goal.